A heavily armed presidential convoy moves through the city in broad daylight. This is not a rebel attack. It is not a mechanical failure. What stops the convoy is a sleek, automated gate guarded by private security contractors wearing imported tactical gear. The barrier cuts across a road that has served the public for half a century. On the opposite side stands a wealthy developer, glancing at his watch, behaving as though the president of Burkina Faso is late to a private appointment. This is where the real story begins. Before we go further, pause for a moment. What time is it where you are watching from? Which country are you in right now? Drop it in the comments. And if you support the Commander Ibrahim Traoré Nation community, make sure you follow for more stories like this. Heat shimmers off the asphalt on the southern edge of the capital, an area rapidly expanding with new developments. Captain Ibrahim Traoré sits inside the lead armored vehicle, reviewing a report on regional water shortages. Today's mission is an inspection. The route is routine, a major roadway connecting the city to its primary water infrastructure. Then the road disappears. As the convoy rounds a curve near the newly built Crystal Heights district, a massive steel barrier blocks the entire roadway. Fresh concrete walls flank it, still clean, still new. The convoy commander radios in, confusion sharp in his voice. He orders the obstruction cleared. Before soldiers step out, a man exits a nearby guard booth. He wears a tailored suit worth more than most of the soldiers will earn in years. This is Marcus Zongo, a construction tycoon famous for excess, influence, and intimidation. He approaches the armored vehicle confidently, surrounded by his own private armed guards, their hands hovering near their weapons. The audacity is staggering. Zongo taps the bulletproof window of Ibrahim's door with his knuckles. Ibrahim signals his security detail to hold position. He opens the door and steps down onto the road. The air goes silent. Zongo explains calmly that the road is no longer public property. It is now a private access route for the Crystal Heights luxury estate. He says the change was approved last month, citing safety and exclusivity concerns. He casually suggests the convoy take an alternate route, a dirt road that will add 2 hours to the journey. Ibrahim asks for documentation. Zongo snaps his fingers. An assistant rushes forward with a tablet displaying a digital deed. City planning stamps. Zoning board signatures. Everything appears official. Zongo shrugs, saying he is only following the law and protecting his investors. He even jokes that security matters to everyone. Ibrahim does not smile. He studies the names, nods once, returns to his vehicle, and orders the convoy to turn around. Zongo watches with satisfaction, convinced he has just forced the president of the country to back down. He has no idea what he just started. The convoy takes the rough detour. Ibrahim stops looking out the window. He is already on a secure line to the Minister of Urban Planning. He asks a single question. Who approved the sale of strategic infrastructure zones in the southern sector? The line goes quiet. The minister stumbles through explanations about modernization and foreign investment incentives. His voice betrays fear. Ibrahim ends the call. He opens his laptop and pulls up satellite images from before the construction boom. He overlays them with current maps. The so-called private road sits directly above the main underground pipeline supplying the capital's emergency water reserve. Control the land and you control the city's water. That night, Ibrahim ignores routine paperwork and focuses entirely on Crystal Heights. He requests the original hard copy land transfer files. His aide returns pale and shaken. The physical file is missing. It was checked out 3 days ago. The log shows a signature, but it is unreadable. A missing file. A nervous minister. A billionaire bold enough to stop a military convoy. This is not simple corruption. It is coordinated. Ibrahim understands Zongo is not acting alone. He bypasses official channels and texts a number not saved in his contacts. A young data analyst he once met during field operations. The man works quietly in the telecommunications basement. Need deleted city planning server logs tonight. The reply comes instantly. Ibrahim stands at the window looking over the city lights. Somewhere out there, Zongo is celebrating, convinced he has humbled the president. He does not realize the detour was not retreat. It was reconnaissance. An hour later, the logs arrive. The emails are not from Zongo. They come from an encrypted address giving precise instructions on which roads to block and when. The timestamp predates the inspection schedule. This was never about land. It was a test. Someone inside Ibrahim's circle is leaking his movements. He reviews the list of officials who knew about the inspection. 5 names. 1 traitor. And Ibrahim knows exactly how to expose him. The command center is silent, But Ibrahim's thoughts are moving fast. 5 names sit on the screen in front of him. These are men he eats with, men he prays with, men who swore loyalty to the nation. One of them sold that loyalty for protection from a man in an expensive suit. He knows better than to accuse without proof. He needs certainty. He decides to use a classic intelligence tactic. Simple. Effective. A canary trap. He summons 3 of the suspects separately, spacing the meetings 15 minutes apart. Each one hears a different version of the next morning's plan. To the Minister of Transport, Ibrahim says there will be a surprise audit of Crystal Heights permits at 8 a.m. To a senior general, he claims Zongo's bank accounts will be frozen at 9 a.m. Then comes Colonel Kaber, his chief of logistics. A man who served beside him for years. Ibrahim leans in and lowers his voice. He tells Kaber the truth or what sounds like it. At dawn, a bulldozer team will tear down the barrier by force, paperwork or not. Kaber listens. He nods once. He salutes. He leaves. Ibrahim watches the door close and feels a knot in his stomach. He hopes he is wrong. He does not go home. He stays in the command center, monitoring live surveillance feeds from Zongo's properties. A drone circles quietly above the Crystal Heights gate. The city sleeps. 1 hour passes. 2 hours. Ibrahim pours a cup of strong coffee. At 2:45 a.m. the screen flickers. Movement at the barrier. Reinforced SUVs arrive. Men unload heavy cases. This is not preparation for an audit or a bank freeze. They are welding steel plates onto the gate. They are preparing for a bulldozer attack. Ibrahim closes his eyes. The betrayal cuts deep. It was Kaber, the man responsible for convoy routing. The man who called the detour routine. He was not just leaking information. He was shielding Zongo from the inside. Ibrahim does not shout. He does not strike the table. He picks up the radio. Bring him. 10 minutes later, military police drag Colonel Kaber into the office. Kaber protests, offended, demanding explanations. Ibrahim says nothing. He turns the laptop toward him and shows the live feed of Zongo's men fortifying the gate. Kaber's confidence collapses. He starts talking fast. He claims it was not about money. He says Zongo keeps files on everyone. Debts. Old mistakes. Family secrets. He says Zongo controls people through fear. He isn't just a businessman, Kaber says. He's a spider. Everyone important is caught in his web. Ibrahim asks for the phone used to make the calls. Kaber hands it over, shaking. The messages are worse than expected. For months, Kaber has shared the president's movements. Every inspection. Every village visit. That is why corruption always vanished before Ibrahim arrived. Ibrahim orders Kaber taken to a holding cell in the basement, isolated. As guards lead him away, Kaber turns back. Desperate. He warns that arresting him will not stop anything. Zongo has insurance. A file meant to destroy Ibrahim's reputation. A threat from his early military career. Ibrahim knows his record is clean. But false scandals work just as well as real ones. A message appears on the confiscated phone. Hope the bulldozers are insured, Mr. President. Zongo believes he is untouchable. Ibrahim steps to the wall map and circles Crystal Heights in red. He will not send bulldozers. That is expected. He will verify whether the insurance file exists and then use it against its owner. As he unlocks the phone to trace the data, another message arrives. A location pin. A rural school in Ibrahim's home village. The text below it freezes his blood. Don't be a hero. Accidents happen at recess. This is no longer politics. This is terrorism. The school sits hours away from the capital's protection. Zongo wants panic. He wants Ibrahim to overreact and pull forces away from the city. Ibrahim steadies his breathing. He calls the village chief, a man who knew him long before medals and titles. Uncle, he says, tell the boys to skip the farms today. Sit around the school. Stop anyone unfamiliar. No questions. The chief understands. The village will be safe. Ibrahim pretends nothing has changed. He tells his secretary he is going home. He dismisses his security detail. He climbs into an old Toyota Corolla driven by Sergeant Dow, a veteran from the Northern Front. No sirens. No flags. They disappear into the night. They stop at a shuttered electronics repair shop in the Camajan district. Inside, surrounded by circuit boards and wires, sits the same data analyst. Ibrahim drops Kaber's phone on the table. Find the backup. Zongo says he has a file on me. The analyst smiles faintly. 10 minutes. The phone syncs to a private server. Not Zongo's home. Not his office. The signal leads to the basement of the Golden Crown Casino. A perfect hiding place. The server is isolated. Physical access only. Ibrahim checks his pistol. Keep the engine running, he tells Dao. 30 minutes later they park behind the casino. Music thunders through the walls. Ibrahim pulls a cap low and slips inside through a service entrance. He bypasses the elevator keypad using a jammer and descends. The basement hums with servers. He plugs in the USB drive. A progress bar appears. Then the elevator dings. 2 armed guards step out. Submachine guns ready. Sensor tripped, one says. The download reaches 95%. The analyst kills the power. Darkness. Ibrahim moves. Silent. Fast. 1 guard drops. The second fires blindly. Sparks fly. Ibrahim grabs the drive and runs. Dao is already moving. Tires scream. They vanish as alarms erupt behind them. Back at the safe house, the analyst opens the folder labeled Insurance. It is not about Ibrahim. It is a geological survey of the northern region. Red zones mark massive undeclared gold deposits. Zongo was hiding the largest gold discovery in the country's history. Then Ibrahim sees the final document. A contract. Zongo's signature. And the signature of a foreign ambassador. This is not corruption. It is a proxy war. Then Ibrahim's phone rings. A video call. A woman tied to a chair appears on the screen. The land registry clerk who tried to help him. Zongo's voice follows. Bring the drive to Crystal Heights in 1 hour. Alone. The screen goes dark. Ibrahim checks his watch. 1 hour. He loads his rifle. The hunt is over. But before moving he rewinds the video. A reflection in a dark window. A purple flashing light. Welding robots. The hostage is not at the barrier. She is at Zongo's industrial hangar. Zongo is setting a trap. Ibrahim smiles grimly. And changes the game. Ibrahim turns to Sergeant Dao and hands him a USB drive. It is not the real one. This drive is loaded with a destructive virus designed to destroy any system it touches. You take my car, Ibrahim says. Drive to the barrier. Act nervous. Buy me 20 minutes. Dao understands immediately. He also understands the risk. He nods once and takes the drive. If they shoot first? Dao asks. Make them regret it, Ibrahim replies. Dao speeds off toward Crystal Heights. Ibrahim rolls a dirt bike out from behind the safe house. Fast. Quiet. Perfect for slipping through narrow streets. He rides without headlights, cutting through back alleys toward the industrial zone. As he nears the hangar, he kills the engine and coasts to a stop. The structure is massive. Steel ribs. Concrete walls. The purple welding beacon flashes overhead every 3 seconds. 2 guards patrol the entrance, smoking, bored. They never see him. Ibrahim moves low. He uses the hum of nearby generators to mask his steps. The first guard goes down in silence. The second turns too late. Inside he spots the foreman's office, a metal container on the factory floor. Through the window he sees her. The clerk. Tied to a chair. 1 guard inside, distracted by his phone. Ibrahim kicks the door open. The fight is fast and brutal. The guard collapses. Ibrahim rips the tape from the clerk's mouth. Can you run? He asks. She nods. 18 minutes have passed. At Crystal Heights, Dao steps out of the president's vehicle with his hands raised. Zongo stands behind a line of mercenaries, smiling. He thinks he is facing Ibrahim. Smart choice, Zongo calls out. The head of security takes the USB drive and plugs it into a rugged laptop connected to their network. The screen turns red. A skull icon appears. Sparks fly. It's a trap, someone shouts. Zongo's smile disappears. That's not him, he says. At the hangar, Ibrahim and the clerk sprint for the exit. A blinding spotlight slams down on them. Rotor blades thunder overhead. A black attack helicopter hovers above the trees. Heavy machine gun fire rips into the ground. Concrete explodes. They dive behind stacked pipes. But Ibrahim checks his ammo. 1 magazine. A pistol. Then his phone vibrates. A message from an unknown number. Look north. You have friends you haven't met yet. A streak of fire cuts across the sky. A missile. It hits the helicopter's tail rotor. The aircraft spins out of control and crashes in a fireball that lights the night like noon. Figures emerge from the trees wearing faded uniforms with red armbands. The Cobra unit. Disbanded years ago for loyalty to the people. Their leader steps forward and salutes. We heard you needed help. Moments later, Dao arrives, shaken but alive. He escaped during the chaos at the barrier. The team regroups. The clerk is safe. The Cobra unit stands ready. The evidence is secured. Then Ibrahim's phone buzzes again. Breaking news. The president has been accused of high treason. An arrest warrant has been issued. Zongo has flipped the story. The capital's internet is cut. Only state television remains. He wants a media war, Ibrahim says. Let's give him one. They head straight for the National Broadcast Center. The city burns. Paid agitators create chaos. The convoy pushes through barricades. At the station, mercenaries fortify the entrance. Ibrahim orders a diversion. The Cobra unit attacks the front. Gunfire erupts. Meanwhile, Ibrahim, Dao, and 2 soldiers breach the rear wall with explosives and move inside. The corridors are empty. The studio lights glow ahead. Ibrahim kicks open the door. Marcus Zongo stands alone in the studio, holding papers and a lighter. You're late, Zongo says. It's over, Ibrahim replies. Zongo laughs. He claims he is only a middleman. He says the people behind him do not leave witnesses. He flicks the lighter. Then the security monitors light up. Ropes drop through the shattered skylights. Men in gas masks descend. Cleaners. Zongo freezes. Ibrahim tackles him as gunfire shreds the set. Talk, Ibrahim shouts. Or die with your secrets. Zongo breaks. Live on air, he confesses everything. The gold. The ambassador. The assassination order. The country hears the truth. The cleaners retreat. The mission is blown. Zongo is arrested. Dawn breaks. Crowds celebrate. Orders against Ibrahim are withdrawn. The foreign ambassador is recalled. Weeks later, the barrier at Crystal Heights is gone. The road is open. Water flows. Farmers pass freely. The gold is nationalized. The Cobra unit is restored. Ibrahim stands where the gate once stood. Children play nearby. Another report appears on his tablet. Another tycoon. Another fight. He smiles. The road belongs to the people again. But power never sleeps. And the next shadow is already growing. 3 weeks later, Ibrahim rides in the back of a simple Jeep convoy. No armored vehicles. No heavy escort. Just a few trusted men and open road. They are heading south. When they reach the Crystal Heights district, the symbol that started everything is gone. The steel barrier has not merely been opened. It has been ripped out completely. Concrete shattered. Metal torn from the ground. The road is alive again. Water trucks rumble past toward the capital. Farmers wave as they use the shortcut to reach market. What was once labeled a private corridor has returned to public space. The gold deposits in the north have been nationalized. Oversight now comes from a joint committee of village elders and military engineers. No foreign signatures. No hidden clauses. Ibrahim tells the driver to stop. He steps out and walks to the exact spot where Marcus Zongo once stood, tapping on the armored glass like he owned the country. The air feels lighter now. The tension is gone. Nearby, children play football where the guard booth used to stand. He thinks about the clerk. She is back at work. Promoted. Protected. He thinks about the Cobra unit. No longer ghosts. Official again. Standing guard for the people, not the powerful. And he thinks about how close it came. Money tried to crush him. Law tried to trap him. Media tried to destroy him. Violence tried to silence him. All of it failed because of one thing the system never accounts for. Refusal to stay quiet. Ibrahim climbs back into the Jeep and checks his tablet. A new report waits. Illegal logging in the eastern forests. Another tycoon. Another scheme. He exhales and smiles. Tired? Real. The work never ends. As the convoy moves on, the Burkina Faso flag snaps in the wind, bright against the sky. The road ahead is open. The land belongs to the people walking it. But power never rests. While one fight ended in the south, another shadow is forming in the east. One that does not rely on bribes but something far more dangerous. That story will come later. If you followed this journey, make sure you stay connected. There are many hidden battles still unfolding across the continent. This is the voice of sovereign Africa. Stay alert.